Hello, I am the Beauty Curious by Najee. So today what we're gonna learn is I'm gonna teach you how to do a high-end cuticle dry manicure. So today I have my lovely client. She's a college student. Y'all, she can't really afford to get her nails done. So I'm gonna give her a manicure today, but I know she's very, very happy. So we've already washed the hands, soap and water, but now I'm gonna spray her hand with alcohol. And that's just to get anything else off, the dust or anything. You just clean our hands on up. So when doing a dry manicure, we're doing cuticle work, right? So we're gonna use an e-file. So with your e-file, you can use more than 3 bits, but I only use 3 bits, okay? I have my first bit, which is a cuticle barrel, medium-sized barrel, diamond bit. I have my flame, a medium-sized diamond bit. And I have my cuticle ball, my cleanup ball diamond bit. Now notice I said diamond. And the reason why I'm using diamond bits because diamond bits are some of the safer diamond bits to use on the natural nail and the skin. Depending on your RPM, the nail tech, we should not have the bits, the speed no more than a 10 using these diamond bits, okay? I have my diamond file. I'm gonna use this to file her nails. I have my metal pusher. I'm gonna use this to push her cuticles back. And if needed, I have my cuticle nippers, okay? And that's of course to cut the dead skin off the cuticle area, only if needed. Sometimes we really don't need it, but only if needed. Now we're using the e-file and we're using the diamond bits and we're doing a dry manicure because a lot of times when clients come in, they want nail enhancements or anything like that, or a gel, you don't want to have to use cuticle remover or a cuticle softener. They contain oil, and the objective is to keep the oil off the nail plate. So you won't have any type of lifting going on, okay? You want to have your nails last as long as possible, up to 2 weeks or more. We don't want lifting before 2 weeks. We really don't want lifting at all. But if there is, you don't want it to be before 2 weeks, okay? So as taught, I always start with my pinky first. So mind you, I'm going to go sidewall to sidewall. One motion. I'm gonna go in a rocking motion. I'm not gonna go in a saw. I'm gonna go in a rocking motion. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because I don't want her real nails to separate. And I'm gonna do the shape squoval. And the reason why I'm doing squoval, I'm doing round at the tips and square around the free edge, is because I don't want her tips, her sides to be sharp. You don't want them to break. You don't want them to cut themselves or scratch themselves, or if they have babies or anything like that. Now, when I file, you see me going on the sides, but I'm not going too far in because you want your real nails to be sidewall to sidewall. You want them to be the same width while they're growing out. Because if you were to add a tip on there while they're growing out and you've filed the nails in so far, the tip is going to separate from the real nail. And that could be before 2 weeks, it could be after 2 weeks, but you don't want that because it's going to cause lifting. And then you don't want water to get in there, or you don't want any type of bacteria or fungus on your natural nail, okay? So I'm just going to go on to the others, doing the same technique. Squoval, Always making sure that the client is comfortable and feels safe with you. You okay?
Yes.
Now, this technique is going to help you make more money. You're going to stand out because a lot of people are not doing manicures with their nail enhancements. I've had tons and tons of clients come to me asking me, can I give them a manicure because they haven't had a manicure in years, months, but they have acrylic or gel on their nails, but they haven't had a manicure. So what we're doing is we're setting the standard. We're gonna go in and we're gonna give these people a dry manicure, get the dead skin off, keep their nails healthy and long lasting, okay? So my next is going to be my cuticle pusher. Now, remember I told you that we're not doing cuticle removal or cuticle softener only because they contain oil. You do not want oil on the natural nail if you're going to do nail enhancements. I wouldn't put an cuticle oil or cuticle remover on the natural nail, even if I'm using my e-file, because it's gonna make it too soft. And you don't want the skin to be too soft when you're using your e-file because you may break the skin. Some people do it, but I would not recommend it. So right now I'm just gonna push back, pushing back her cuticle, side to side. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing back all of that dead skin you can see right here. It turns white. I always tell my students, cut what you see, meaning cut the white, all right? Don't go in and cut the live skin. The dead skin, the cuticle is normally white because it's dry. My client, she has really thick cuticles. So like I said, she's a college student. She does not stay in the same state. So she can't really get to me as often as she would like. All right, so that's really, really thick cuticle right there. So that's a good one. That's a good one to show. So I'm just gonna push back the rest of them. Now I will say, you may have to use your metal pusher twice, depending on how thick the cuticles are. You may have to go twice after you do your initial service using your medium-sized barrel bit, cuticle barrel bit. And that's okay if you have to go in twice, because sometimes when pushing back the first time and their cuticles are so thick, you may not get everything. You may not get all the cuticles. So I have my drill, my e-file. Mine is a digital e-file. I would always recommend a digital e-file because you can always see the numbers. So once I turn it on, you'll see my numbers, right? And it'll tell you how far to go up, how far it is, how low it is, how high it is. So I have a 35,000 RPM. RPM is just the speed of the e-file. I wouldn't go under 35 RPM because 9 times out of 10, the regular nail technique is for even heavier duty nail work with acrylics or something like that. So 35,000 RPM, which is your speed, is the best way to go. All right. So I'm gonna go with my cuticle barrel bit, medium size. And I'm gonna turn this on 8. And the reason why I got it so low is because 35,000 RPM is pretty high. And you do not want to create rings of fire on the natural nail. You know, sometimes when they come in and they have the lines on the nails and the nails are red, that's called rings of fire. So we're not gonna create rings of fire. So we're not gonna turn the e-file up, the speed up. So another thing is to avoid creating rings of fire, don't ever push down. It has to be flush to the nail plate, okay? So once I go in, I'm just taking off what I see. And I'm pushing back a little bit on her cuticles. And the reason why I'm pushing back a little bit is because if I need to go back in with my metal pusher, I won't have that much to push back. And if they are really thick, just take your time. It's okay. Clients will appreciate you more if you take your time than speed up, especially working with their cuticles, their real nail. Now you see that I am not pressing down hard at all. I was able to create or build a 300 plus clientele in a matter of 2 to 3 months because of this technique. So I know that it works, and I know that you can make money, and I know that your clients will be satisfied. You okay? And you're gonna keep hearing me ask my client, is she okay? And that's just because that's just how I am. I'm always concerned about the client's well-being, the client's safety, how they're feeling, their mood. So I always ask the client, you okay? You're good. And they'll let you know. But I don't want her to let me know by pulling her hand back or snatching it back because I hurt her. I want to make sure that I'm always going at a steady speed and keeping her safe. So right now I have my flame bit. Don't get it confused. It's not going to set the nail on fire or anything like that. That's just what they decide to call it, a flame bit. So what the flame bit is, we're going to go in the sidewall. So if she had like a hangnail or something like that, this would get it out. So right now we're just going to go in the sidewalls. I'm going to turn my e-file up just a little bit. I had it on 8. I'm taking it to 10 because the sidewalls can be a bit tricky. Still not driving into her nails. I'm still flush. Even if you see me doing this, I'm still actually flush to her nail, okay? And all the while, I'm pulling down on her skin, on the sidewalls, because if there is a hangnail, you want to make sure you can get it out. So you don't want to damage the skin. You need to make sure you holding their finger tight. Not so tight where they're losing circulation, but just tight enough to where you have complete control. And if you have complete control, they're not going to move. The client's not going to move at all unless you cut them or burn them. But other than that, they're not going to move. They're actually going to be really relaxed. Now, a lot of times I will tell you, I've gotten so used to doing this and I've gotten so fast with doing it. A lot of times I honestly do not use my flame bit because my cuticle barrel bit pretty much gets everything out for me. So because she has the cuticle was so thick and I don't want to break the skin, I'm gonna go in with my cuticle nippers and I'm just gonna go and cut the top of it. Only the white part. I don't want to hurt her. Now, mind you, if you notice, I am not pushing down on her nail. Do not push down using the cuticle nippers because you can pretty kind of break the skin because you're pushing down too hard and you're going too far. So if you can see this, I'm gonna put it right here on her. That's pretty much, that's her cuticle. That's dead. And most of them are like this because she hasn't had a manicure in a long time. All right. So I'm gonna go back again with my cuticle, a metal pusher. And I have not bruised the skin. I have not torn the nail. She doesn't have any dents or anything in it. Remember I said that you may have to go back? I went back, like I said, because she hasn't had a manicure in a long time. So I'm gonna go back again with my cuticle bit. This time at level 9. And I'm just going in and cleaning up what I missed, if I missed anything. And like I said, a lot of times once you get used to it, you're gonna be extremely fast and really good at it. Sometimes a lot of these steps you're not even gonna have to do. And they're definitely gonna appreciate that because that means you can get them out faster. But the average client that takes care of their nails, that really does not get any type of nail enhancements on their nails, they're gonna appreciate the fact that you took the time out to take care of the nails. They're gonna tell everybody how well you did. You're gonna get more clients. I always say word of mouth is the best advertisement. It can be the best, sometimes it can be the worst, but 9 times out of 10, word of mouth is the best. All right. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna go in and use my cuticle ball. So I'm just gonna get all the leftover dead skin that's on the top of her fingernail on her cuticle. Now this is gonna be low because we're literally on the top of her skin now, just getting the dead skin off. So I'm not gonna push down, I'm still gonna stay flush, all right? Now you have different sizes. They have some that are really, really small, but I don't like the ones that are really, really small because they really don't get the job done. I would go for the medium size one, all right? Don't go for the big one either unless it's just like really thick and their fingernails are wide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to the top. I'm just cleaning up. Did you feel that? And I'm not touching her nail. I'm just going soft on her skin. Like really soft. All the while still holding her skin tight. Still making sure that she's okay. All right, there you go. It's all ashy and stuff, but I guarantee you it's cleaned up. She thought that was funny, y'all. Now I'll go with my buffer. Now, when on the natural nail, I do not use a coarse buffer at all, ever. My buffers are very, very fine, okay? And basically we're just gonna go circular motion because that's pretty much, you wanna go in a circular motion because your cuticle is round. So we don't do this and we don't do this because you can tear the skin. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm going in a circular motion. That's okay for you? I'm gonna go underneath her nail and I'm gonna get all the dead skin that's underneath the nails from when I filed using my diamond file. Now on the buffer, you can go back and forth with the buffer because you're just really cleaning it up. It's not gonna break the skin. It's not gonna, I mean, the nail. It's not gonna cause separation or anything like that because it's extremely fine. Now after this, we're gonna do I'm gonna give her a gel manicure on top. She's gonna have to go wash her hands, no soap. Soap contains oil, some soaps. So we don't want that. And right now I'm just getting like little flyaways that I couldn't get with my bit. All right. Now while she's going to clean up, I'm gonna show you how to do a setup with your, y'all, I forgot the pinky, so excuse me. All right. So when you send your clients to go wash their hands, this is your time to clean up. Always make sure that you have enough time to clean up in between clients. But while she's going to go wash her hands, no soap. I'm gonna clean up and I'm gonna set up for her manicure, okay? So wash your hands for me. I always have paper towels on hand. I normally use paper towels instead of towels because a lot of times the paper towels, I don't like dirty towels. Sometimes I feel like bleach, even with the bleach or anything like that, it's still probably some grit or some dead skin or something that's on that towel. And we're going back and forth. We're going back and forth trying to get the dead skin or whatever off the client. And it's not really doing a good job cleaning up unless I'm doing like a pedicure or something wet. But a dry manicure, I'll hardly ever use a towel. Good. What? Yes, use a paper towel. So while I'm doing this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray my bits with alcohol. Everything that I use, I'm gonna spray with alcohol. I'm gonna let it sit because after this, I'm gonna go in and after we get done, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna clean it with soap and water, okay? So my buffers, they do get sprayed down with alcohol as well. And you can clean your buffers. A lot of people say you can't, but you can clean your buffers if you have a cleanup brush. Only use a cleanup brush, soap and water, and spray it down with alcohol. All right. You like your manicure?
Mhm.
So gel. I don't really mix my products at all. So right now we're just gonna do clear. She likes the natural look at times, so we're just gonna do clear just to keep her nails all shiny and stuff like that while they grow out. I don't like to mix products, so everything you see is going to be gelish, because sometimes if you mix products, you can cause product service breakdown, because the product, the chemical that's not mixing with the other product. So they could have had something different in their bottle, some type of different chemical in their bottle, when another product like Kiara, Sky, or D&D is a different makeup, and it'll cause product service unless they say it's universal. So gelish is universal, but I still, for me, I don't like to mix product, okay? So right now I'm gonna do the Pro Bond. The Pro Bond is just, it's like a primer for your gel. You know, you have primers for your acrylic. They have primers for your gel. Who would have thought? Which is great because your nails won't lift as much or fast. All right. Foundation. Foundation is your base coat. And it's gonna be a thin layer of foundation. I'm gonna gently pushing up, coming down. I'm gonna start right in the middle, and then we're gonna go sidewall to sidewall. And that's how you actually would polish regular nails with regular polish. Sidewall to sidewall. If you need to clean up, you just need to clean up. Don't feel like you got it all together. I've been doing this for 20 years, and sometimes I mess up on polish. And it's fine. As long as you know how to, you're supposed to clean it up and don't leave the client walking out with messed up nails. Always making sure that your hands, your hands, your fingernails, your fingers aren't touching the nail, the client's nail, because you could probably have oil or something on yours. You don't want to get it on your client because you don't want them coming back complaining that the nail lifted because there was some oil or something on it. All right, I'm gonna put it at 30 seconds. It's not gonna take that long, but I'm gonna put it at 30 seconds. And sometimes when I go in with a base, just doing a clear, I'll probably sometimes do the base twice because it's foundation. You can make it thicker if the client wants a little thickness to it. If you're doing the color, you would go Pro Bond, one coat of base, one layer of base, 2 to 3 layers of color, and 1 layer of clear. All right. But this time, since she's doing clear, I'm gonna do 2 layers of base. And with the second coat, you can go pretty fast. It's not gonna take long because you pretty much have everything coated. If you don't know, you follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Y'all, I love a beautiful, well manicured hand. I love it. Most of my clients do too. All right, put that back in, another 30 seconds. Now, mind you, okay, so if we were doing hard gels or anything like that, there is some UV lamps have flash cure. Mine have flash cure. I'm not gonna set it to flash cure, but mine have flash cure. So what flash cure does is sometimes the hard gel, it cures, which means harden. It cures really, really fast, and it tightens up your nail. So it'll cause like a burning sensation. So what the flash cure does is it'll blink off and on like that. That way, it won't just be steady heat, the UV going on the fingernails, which would cause a burning sensation. I thought that was amazing, a genius thing for people to do. All right, take it out. And then we're gonna go with our top coat, top it off. Everybody needs a top coat, right? Because we love a shiny nail. You will not walk out my door and don't have no shiny nails. And also, while doing this, cap the free edge. What I mean by cap the free edge, go on that free edge and make sure that there is product on that free edge so that your products don't lift. Cap that free edge. Now the base layer, the foundation is really sticky. And that's good. You need a sticky base because you want your top coat or your color gel, you want it to stick. So I always use your base coat. You have to use your base coat. All right, put that in. That's okay. I'm gonna show y'all something once we get done. I want y'all to see if a client has a damaged fingernail, what you would do with the cuticle bit. So while she's curing, this right here is really damaged. It's really dry. You can see that she has dead skin and she has hangnails. So if a client walks in with that, what you would do is you will have to go in and somewhat soften it up because the cuticle is so thick and it's damaged. So when they have a damaged nail or damaged skin cuticle, it's kind of look like it's broken, but it's not broken, but you don't want to break it. It just has a bunch of hangnails and it's extremely thick and dry. Just a little bit of cuticle softener, just a tad bit, and let that sit for a second while you're working on the other nails. This will be the last nail you work on because you want to make sure that it's able to come up once you use your cuticle bit. Now, I know I said that we don't use a big cuticle softener because it has oil, but in this case, because you don't want to break the client's skin, go with your first move. Go with what you know to work, which will be soften the nail up. 9 times out of 10, a nail tech coming out of school, they probably don't really think about that. But if you've been doing nails for a long time, you know that sometimes you really do have to go in and soften up. Now, do not let them sit in water, but you can go in with the cuticle softener and let it sit, just a tad bit of cuticle softener on the nail, okay? Dry it off with alcohol, push the cuticles up, the dead skin up, and use your e-file, all right? And make sure it's always on a low RPM, which if you're doing doing a digital, it will be like a 7, okay? All right, take it off. So sometimes they're sticky, sometimes they're not. We're gonna make sure. Gelish, the top coat, is not a sticky top coat. That means it doesn't have an inhibition layer. So there's nothing rising to the top to separate the cured gel from the uncured gel. So what you would do is you will put some cuticle oil on them and you will let them go about their way. So right now I'm gonna show you a beautifully manicured hand using my high-end cuticle dry manicure. All right. I am Najee. I hope that this was very, very informative for you. I hope that you enjoy my teaching. It could be a little bit more fun, and it will be more fun because I could be a bit goofy, but This is how a well manicured nail will look. Even if you didn't do gel, regular polish, this still is the look that it's supposed to be. All right. Y'all have a good day. I hope to see you all soon. Bye.